The following matchup is presented and played with Hockey Blast Express, a product of Play Games LLC, copyright 2023, all rights reserved. Welcome to this week's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. In today's episode, we have a special treat for you as we rewind back the clock to 1972 as we revisit the 72 Super Series, aka the Summit Series, between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union here on this episode of Rivalry Night. Stay tuned for Puck Drop and Game 1 coming up next. But first, let's have a look at and say thank you to our official Play Games sponsors. We would like to take the time to send out a special thanks to our Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour is brought to you in part by Bitty Beer. They say it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its distinctive taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned, so there's an itty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And we remind you, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. And by Doc Cola, the official cola beverage of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses the finest imitation ingredients that bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. With twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major brand, Doc Cola is sure to keep you wired from dawn until dusk. So, while you're at it, take the Doc Cola challenge and see where our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from refreshing Doc Cola. And by Ice Brew, the official brewery choice of the Play Games community. Brewed in the frozen tundra of northern Wisconsin, Ice Brew is a beer made for sports fans and tailgating. Our 150-year-old family recipe is brewed to make the most of every ingredient. We use hops, barley, wheat, corn, rice, oats, quinoa, spelt, malt, and sunflower seeds blended together with the finest water shipped in from the shores of Lake Michigan. One sip, and you'll agree there's nothing like Ice Brew. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. At Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York pizza starts with the crust when we layer on our homemade pizza sauce, then load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, it's piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. And we give that majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver, who is as responsible as a tree stump. Pizza Kingdom. It was sure perfection when it's left in the store. And with that being said, let's get right into game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night featuring the 1972 Summit Series between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union. We're going to begin with a visitor scoring chance of over 41, and it reads, visitor player in 4, that is Rod Sealing. He creates a goal with a quality roll of speed or a triangle. Sealing does not have speed, neither does he have a triangle, so therefore it will be a no action result, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Penalty check between players 5 and 4, that is Anasin and Dennis Hall. And it looks like Hall's going to go to the box as Anderson will move in on Tony Esposito, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does to keep game one at a scoreless tie through the first 10 minutes of the first period. Home scoring chance of a 24, and it reads visitor goalie must make spec save, so a 1 or a 2 for Esposito will do the trick. It won't, and Team Soviet Union will get on the board early. It's 1-0, and let's see who scored it. 4. So player with the third best shot rating. So the best out there right now is Blinov. The second best is Vladimir Shadrin. So the third best is going to go to Vladimir Lochenko. And if I butcher any of these names, I do apologize. And we stay put, 1 down, 5 to go. Visitor scoring chance of a 65. It says visitor defense stop breakaway chance. Home goalie must make spec save. Oh, Tretiak's not known for this. So a 1 and exactly a 1 is all that's needed to make the spec save. He won't. Team Canada ties it up. Let's see who scored it. 5. Choice player. Okay, so whenever this happens, I'm going to re-roll the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is going to be a re-roll. 2. That's Paul Henderson. So Paul Henderson will score the goal for Team Canada, and it is a tie here in game one, all knotted up at 1 apiece. 2 down, and I believe, yes, 2 down and 4 more to go. We got ourselves a quality check between players 3 and anybody in the ice for Team Canada. It looks like the player in question is going to be Victor Kuzkin for Team Russia or Soviet Union. And let's see, the quality we're looking for is speed. Kuzin will not win this one, so it's either Ellis, Gilbert, or Stapleton. I think. Let's have the red die decide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that's 1, 2 for Ellis, 3, 4 for Gilbert, and 5, 6 for Stapleton. Ron Ellis. So Ron Ellis will seal up this quality check win for Team Canada as he moves in on Vladislav Tretiak as he needs to make a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He won't, and Team Canada will take the lead courtesy of Ron Ellis. So we have scored 3 in this segment, only 3 more to go. Quality check between players 1 and 4. Yeah, because needs to flip. Yes, quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Bolachkov and Rod Gilbert. The quality we're looking for is skill. It looks like Gilbert is going to win this one as he does have skill. So he's going to skate on into Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. And he does so. And that's going to be it for this segment. And we will move on to the next one. Visitor scoring chance of a 43. It reads, any visitor player with a triangle creates a goal. Yes, we got contenders, Bobby Clark or Phil Esposito. I think I'm gonna go with Clark. I'm gonna go with Bobby Clark here. So he's gonna skate on into Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He won't, and Bobby Clark will seal a 3-1 lead for Team Canada. One down, 5 to go. Penalty check between players 1 and 4. That is Badonov and Sealing. It looks like both players have the same penalty rating of 0, zilch, zip, nada. And it looks like, that's going to be it for this first period of game one. This revisit of the 1972 Super Series, aka the Summit Series, between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union, as Team Canada leads game one by a score of 3-1. We start the second period with a quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Lebedev and Dennis Hall. The quality we're looking for is skill. Both Yuri Lebedev and Dennis Hall both have skill, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Home scoring chance of a 51. Yikes. It reads visitor defense player in 2. That is Yuri Belinov. Oh, excuse me. Paul Henderson. I'm sorry. Yes, visitor defense player in 2. That is Paul Henderson. He will stop a Team Soviet Union goal with a quality roll of skill or a square. Oh man, Paul Henderson does not have skill. Neither does he have a square. So therefore, Team Soviet Union is going to get another goal on the board. Let's see who scored it. 4, third best shot rating. So the best out there is, of course, Belinov. The second best is going to go to Shadrin. And the third best is going to go to Gusev, Alexander Gusev. Since Paulie Henderson was used, we will flip him as Team Soviet Union creeps a goal ever closer here in game one. The score is 3-2, still in favor of Team Canada. We have scored 1 in this segment and only 5 to go. Quality check between players 2 and 1. We have Belinov and Bergman, and the quality we're looking for is hit. It looks like Gary Bergman is going to win this one, as he does have hit. So he's going to move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He won't, and Team Canada leads it 4-2, courtesy of Gary Bergman. We continue on in this segment with a quality check between players 3 and 4. Lurchenko and Gilbert are your takers here. The quality we're looking for is speed. It looks like Rod Gilbert is going to win this one, as he does have speed. So he's going to skate on into Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or 2 to make the stop, which he won't. It's 5-2. Oh my goodness! For Team Canada as they take the lead here. And we will move on to the next portion here in this segment. I believe we have scored 4, only 2 to go. Home scoring chance of a 46. Visitor defense player in 1. That's Brad Park. He stops a Team Soviet Union goal with the quality roll of hit or a square. Although he does not have hits, he does have a square well enough to stop the Team Soviet Union goal from getting past him and towards Tony Esposito, and therefore this segment will end, but not before Team Canada blows this thing open by 3 goals. They lead it 5-2 at the midpoint in game 1. Penalty check between players 5 and 2. That is Shadrin and Ellis. The quality we're looking. It's a penalty check. Excuse me. Ellis is going to go to the box, as Shadrin will move in on Tony Esposito, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he won't do so. Shadrin will give the Soviets, their third goal of the game, the third goal of game 1, and 1 down, 5 to go. Another penalty check. This time it'll be between players 1 and 3. That is Volachkov and Esposito, Philly Esposito. Oh man, Phil Esposito is going to go to the box as Volachkov is going to move in on the other Esposito brother, Tony, as he needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He won't. My God, the Soviet Union team, the Soviets are making a comeback. Back here, folks. It is 5-4 here in game one. 2 down, and I believe, yes, 2 down and 4 more to go. Visitor scoring chance of a 23. Home goalie must make spec save. Vladislav Tretiak is not known for this, so a 1 and exactly a 1 will have to do so. It won't. Team Canada takes a 6-4 lead. Let's see who scored the goal. 6. Player with the best shot rating. So it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be a tie between Yvonne Knoyer and Bobby Clark. I do want to keep that face-off rating out there, so we're going to give the goal to Knoyer. So Yvonne Knoyer will score Team Canada's 6th goal of the game. And we will stay put, 3 down and 3 more to go. Quality check between players 5 and 4. It looks like Petrov and Sealing. The quality is skill. It looks like Petrov's going to win this one as he does have skill. So he skates on into Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so. And folks, this has been a barrage of goals here in game one of this episode of Rivalry Night as part of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. We got ourselves a visitor scoring chance of a 15. It reads, home goalie must make play save. Tretiak is going to have to make a 1 or a 2 to make the stop, which he will do so nobody flips, and we will move on after 40 minutes of play here in the books of game one of this episode of Rivalry Night. Team Canada leads it by a score of 6-4 over Team Soviet Union. We got ourselves a quality check between players 2 and 4. Yuri Blinov and Dennis Hull are your contenders here. The quality we're looking for is speed. It looks like both Blinov and Hull have speed, and that is going to be it for this segment, and we will move on to the next one. Penalty check between players 4 and 3. It looks like it'll be Maltsev and Cashman. It looks like, Wayne Cashman is going to have to go to the box, as Maltsev is going to skate on into Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to stop the Team Soviet Union's power play opportunity, which he will do so. We move on to the next segment with another penalty check between both players in 2. That's Clark and Vasilev. And it looks like, Clark is going to go to the box as Valery Vasilev is going to have to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so. My goodness, folks, what a game this has turned out to be. Here we go. We move to the final segment with of game one here with a visitor scoring chance of a 43, and it reads: any visitor player with a triangle creates a goal. Yes, Paul Henderson does have a triangle, so therefore he's going to move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He does it, and that is going to be it. Your final score for game one of this Rivalry Night series between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union stands as Team Canada 6, and Team Soviet Union 4. Stay tuned for the game summary presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. What a tense game one that we've witnessed here between the 1972 Summit Series, aka the Super Series, between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union. And again, if I do butcher any of the names on Team Soviet Union or Team Canada, I do apologize going forward. So, with that being said, here is your game summary for game one. For Team Canada, let's see. Paul Henderson took the opening salvo of the super of this rewind to the Super Series between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union. He, along with five others on Team Canada, were able to take home goals, including Gary Bergman, uh, Ron Ellis, Bobby Clark, Yvonne Canoyer, and Rod Gilbert. Unfortunately for penalties on the power play, it was a two unfortunate opposing power play goals for Team Soviet Union. And of course, to my knowledge, Team Soviet Union has not taken a penalty so far in game one. So all the penalties came on Team Canada's side as they ended up with three place penalties that ended in play saves and only two that ended up with power play goal opposing power play goals for Team Soviet Union. Rod Ellis and Rod Gilbert and Gary Bergman all took home quality check wins. Uh, Vladislav, I believe Petrov, yes, Petrov was the only player on Team Soviet Union that took home a quality check win for his team for game one. But for goal scorers on the Soviet Union side, Luchenko, Gusev, Shadrin, and Volchakov, and again, if I do butcher any names, I do apologize, all took home the scoring for game one here for this episode of Rivalry Night. Your key plays from this game included as follows. In the 15th minute, Vladislav Tretiak makes a key play save on Rod Gilbert to keep the game to keep it at a 2-1 lead for Team Canada to hopefully give the Team Soviet Union to come back to tie things up. But unfortunately, following in the next segment, Bobby Clark extended Team Canada's lead to a 3-1 lead after 20 minutes of play. But in the second period, things turned a dark turn for the worse for Team Canada, excuse me, for Team Soviet Union, I should say, as Brad Park makes a key and crucial stop to keep the game at a score of 5-2 in the 10th minute. And Team Soviet Union would bring the game within two goals. They said not so fast, as they would bring the game in within two goals, as mentioned, on the power play. And in the third period, it was all deadlocked, to say the least, and it was game over by then. But in the 10th to 15th minute, Tony Esposito would make two key play saves on the power play. One penalty went to Wayne Cashman and one penalty on Bobby Clark, as he would make two key play saves on the power play to save and preserve the 6-4 victory for Team Canada here in game one. And of course, as mentioned, your three stars are as follows for game one. Star number 3 would go to Yvonne Canoyer, who scored the game winning goal in the second period. Gary Bergman would take home star number 2, as he would net another goal, as he would net a goal plus a quality check win. But star number 1, my goodness, he was everywhere. Rod Gilbert would net home himself 2 quality check wins and scoring a goal for game one. And those are your 3 stars of the game presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please, please, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. Stay tuned for Puck Drop for Game 2 coming up next. And welcome back, everybody. Let's get into game two. A couple changes for both teams as the Mahavlich brothers Pete and Frank will make their way into the Team Canada lineup. Leipkin has been will come in for Leipkin, Lyapkin, and Karlamov will come in for Team Soviet Union, as explained earlier. So with that being said, let's get right into things with Game 2, with Team Canada leading one game to none in this Rivalry Night series. We're going to begin Game 2 with a quality check between players 1 and 5. Bergman and, of course, as mentioned, Valery Karlamov. The quality of questioning we're looking for is skill. Karlamov is going to win that one, as he does have skill, as he moves in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He won't, and Team Soviet Union is on the board. It's 1-0, courtesy of Valery Karlamov. The aforementioned Val Karlamov. One down, 5 to go. Quality check between players 1 and anybody on the ice for the Soviets. It's going to be Brad Park in question for Team Canada, as he will go up against anyone with hit. And it looks like no one has hit, so we are going to go right across from him with Bogdanov, as both guys do not have hit, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Quality check between players 3 and 4. That is Perot and Yakushev, if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. The quality is smart. Neither Perot or Yakushev does not have smart. And we will move on to the next segment here in Game 2 of this Rivalry Night series. Penalty check between players 5 and 4. That's Mahavlich and Boris Mikhailov. And it looks like Boris Mikhailov is going to go to the box, as Pete Mahavlich will move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully get Team Canada up on the board. A 1 or a 2 will stop it. It will, to keep this game scoreless. Here, heading into the next segment. We got ourselves a visitor scoring chance, of a 24. Home goalie must make spec save, so 1 or a 2 for Tony Esposito will do so. It will. Tony Esposito makes the spec save, and he keeps this game right where it's at, of 1-0 through 20 minutes of play here in Game 2 of this revisit of the Summit Series from 1972 as part of Rivalry Night here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour. We begin the second period with a quality check between players 5 and 2. Guy Lapointe and hope I'm seeing this right. Zagankov. Hopefully I said that right. The quality and questioning we're looking for is smart. Guy Lapointe's going to win this one, as he does have smart over Zagankov. I hope I'm saying that right. I do apologize. As Guy Lapointe will move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to tie things up, which he will do so. The game is tied up at 1, courtesy of Guy Lapointe. We stay in this segment, 1 down and 5 to go. Quality check between anybody on the ice for Team Canada against player number 2, that is Yuri Belinov. The quality in question we're looking for is power. The only 2 guys out there for Team Canada with power are Phil Esposito and Bill White. So I think we're going to give the opportunity to Esposito. So he's going to move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop, which he will do so to keep this game right where it's at of a tie, of a 1-1 tie here through the first 5 minutes of game number 2, through the first 5 minutes of the second period here for game number 2. Quality check between players 5 and 4. The quality we're looking for is speed. White and Maltsev. It looks like Alexander Maltsev is going to win this one as he does have speed. So he's going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He won't, and the Soviets take a 2-1 lead courtesy of Alexander Maltsev. We have scored 2, yes, 2 in this segment, 4 to go. Visitor scoring chance of a 45, and it reads, any visitor player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. Yes, Yakashushev is going to skate on into Tony Esposito as he does have that power play circle star symbol. Tony needs to net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so to keep this game right where it's at of 2-1. Yes, it was. Yep. We move on to the next segment. Penalty check between players 5 and 1. The quality, I'm sorry, not the quality. Sorry, it's a penalty check. Between 5 and 1, Mahavlich and Lebedev. Oh, both players have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Home scoring chance of a 61. It reads, any visitor player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Let me ask you, if you are in Canada and if you're watching this, do you see any circles out there for Team Soviets? I sure as hell don't. And they have just tied the game. Let's see who scored the goal. 8. Player with the best shot rating. Of course, it's going to go to Paul Henderson. Of course. No circles out there for Team Soviet Union, and it will be considered to be a power play goal. Tie game up at 2. 1 down, 5 to go in this segment. Visitor scoring chance of a 46. Any visitor player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. Mikhailov. I think he was used. Yes, I think he was used. Oh no, he wasn't. Yakashushev was flipped. I'm sorry. So Mikhailov does have the power play circle star symbol, so he's going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does to keep this game right where it's at of a 2-2 tie through 40 minutes here in game 2. Team Canada is looking to take the Rivalry Night series from Team Soviet Union, but it's still a 2-2 tie. Let's see what happens in the third period. We got ourselves a quality check between players 5 and 3, Lapointe and Liopkin, I think, if I'm saying that right. The quality is speed. Guy Lapointe is going to win this one as he does have speed, as he will move in on Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He won't. Team Canada takes a 3-2 lead courtesy of Guy Lapointe. Oops. One down, 5 to go. Quality check between players 3 and 5. That is going to be Cashman against Shadrin. The quality we're looking for is star. Neither Cashman or Shadrin have star, so we will move on to the next segment here in this one. We got ourselves a quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Yvonne Knoyer and Maltsev. The quality we're looking for is power. Neither Knoyer or Maltsev have power, so that is going to be it for that segment, and we will move on to the next one. We got ourselves a penalty check between players 1 and 2. That is Bergman and Vasilev. And it looks like Bergman is going to go to the box as he has a penalty rating of 1.5 to Vasilev's 1, penalty rating of 1. So Vasilev is going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully tie things up. A 1, 2, or 3 will save it. The game is tied up at 3, courtesy of Valery Vasilev, as he will seal up a power play goal for the game tying goal. 1 down, 5 to go. Another penalty check. This time it'll be between players 5 and 4. Bill White and Yakushev. I'm hoping I'm saying these names right. If I do butcher any names, I do apologize. It looks like White's going to go to the box as Yakushev is going to move in on Tony Esposito to give the Team Soviet Union the lead here. A 1, 2, or 3 will stop it. Team Soviet Union takes the lead courtesy of Yakushev. And things are looking dire for Team Canada here in game 2. 2 down and 4 more to go. Home scoring chance of a 32. Choice home player rolls for rebound goal using shot stars +2. You better believe it. I'm going to give it to Gilbert Perreault. He has to roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to tie things up, which he does. Gilbert Perreault ties things up at 4 here in game number 2 of this Rivalry Night series, focusing in on the 1972 Super Series, aka the Summit Series, between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union. 3 down and 3 more to go. We got ourselves a home scoring chance of a 43. This is Team Canada's chance to take the lead. Any home player with a triangle creates a goal. Yes, we got contenders. Park, Ellis, Esposito. So one of those 3. Let's see if Park does have the triangle. He does not. So it's down between Ellis and Esposito, Philly Esposito. Dot, it's going to be Phil Esposito. And it will be Phil Esposito. So Phil Esposito will skate on in to Vladislav Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He does so. Wow. To keep this game right where it's at, of a 4-4 tie as we head to the final segment of game 2 here before possibly going to overtime. Visitor scoring chance of a 13. Home goalie must make play save. Tony Esposito needs to roll a 1, 2, or 3 to send this game to overtime, which he does so. So we are going to go to overtime, and we will play out overtime just as it's being read up in the rules for Hockey Blast Express. If you want to get yourself a copy of this game, I left the link down below in the description to all of the videos. So, with that being said, let's march off to overtime. We got ourselves a quality check between players 5 and 2. That's Mahavlich and Sagankov. The quality is hit. Neither player has hit. This game will not end in a tie, so we are going to go, yes, indeed, to a shootout. This game will not end in a tie, so we are going to go to a shootout to see who decides the game here. We're going to have Dot be, um, we're going to have, of course, let's see here. Dot is always going to be the home team. So Dot, Team Canada wins. Team Canada wins in a shootout, and they take a 5-4 victory here in game number 2, sealing game 2 as they look for the Rivalry Night series sweep in game 3. But before we do so, let's take a look at our series summary so far through 2 games, and as well as game 2 of this Rivalry Night series presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. Man, oh man, what a game 2 that was as Team Canada takes it in a shootout by a final score of 5-4 here for game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night and is in line for a sweep of Team Soviet Union. But first, let's take a look before we get to game 3, I should say. Let's take a look at the Bitty Beer game summary for game 2 presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. For Team Canada, Guy Lapointe was probably going to be the star of this game as he scored and netted home his first 2 goals of this episode of Rivalry Night. Um, then Paul Henderson also took another crack at the score sheet as he netted home his first power play goal, but his second of this episode. Gilbert Perreault would also net his first, but the star of the show, Rod Gilbert, as I forgot to roll to see who got the shootout winner. And of course, going forward, if the game does end up going to a shootout, then I'm just gonna play it out like that. With that being said, your the scoring wise for Team Soviet Union, Karlamov, Altsev, Vasilev, and Yukashev. Yes, Yukshev would take home the would take home goals for Team Soviet Union, but Team Soviet Union finally broke through. Excuse me, through on the penalty side as Boris Mikhailov was subject to a penalty. But Vladislav Tretiak said, "Nah, I'm stopping Team Canada," just like he did also all those so many years ago on the ice, as he was probably one of the greatest goaltenders in that series. As for quality check wins, Guy Lapointe would take home 2 quality check wins, making him possibly one of the in the running for one of the 3 stars of Game 2. He took home smart and speed, and Phil Esposito would take home a power quality check win for Team Canada. But for Team Soviet Union, Karlamov took home the skill quality check win, and Maltsev would take home the quality check win for speed. Here are your key plays from game 2. In the first period, Tony Esposito made a key spec save to keep the game at 1 goal to make sure Team Canada would come back in the second period, which they did, as Guy Lapointe and let's see here, Paul Henderson would magically get Team Canada further in the lead with a 3-2 with a 3-2 lead after one period of play, or excuse me, I should say a 3-2 Soviet Union lead after 40 minutes of play. Then in the third period, Team Soviet Union would manage to tie the game up at 4 with back-to-back power play goals from Vasilev and Yakushev off of 2 penalties off of Team Canada, one from Gary Bergman and one from Bill White. And in the 20th minute, Tony Esposito would make a key play save to send this game into overtime. And then their history would be known as Rod Gilbert would seal up game 2 for Team Canada in a shootout. Here are your 3 stars of the game from game 2. As aforementioned, Guy Lapointe would take home star number 1 for Team Canada, as he would net 2 goals and 2 quality check wins. I would have had Rod Gilbert on here as star number 1 for the shootout winner, but I decided to leave him out for game 2 and handed 2 stars of the game for Team Soviet Union. One of them would go to Maltsev, as he would score a goal plus a quality check win, and Karlamov, as he would also net a goal and a quality check win. And that is your game summary for game 2, and also your 3 stars of the game for game 2, presented by your favorite Bitty Bear products. Stay tuned for game 3 coming up next. With that being said, welcome to Game 3 of this Rivalry Night series between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union from the 1972 Summit Series. Team Canada is poised to sweep Team Soviets, as mentioned earlier. But can the Soviets try to stop Team Canada and prevent the sweep? With that being said, let's get the puck dropped for Game 3. We're going to begin Game 3 with a penalty check between players, anybody on the ice for Team Soviet Union, against player number 5, that is Pete Mahavlich. It's a penalty check, sorry. Looks like Mahavlich has a 0.5, so it's really early, and I really don't like handing out penalties early on in the game, so we are going to tie. So we're going to go Gusev with a 0.5 and Mahavlich with a 0.5. So we will tie, let these guys play, for now. But next time that happens, we will definitely see what we can do for issuing the penalties. I don't really like doing that. So with that being said, let's move on. Home scoring chance of a 44, and it reads, any home player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. We have contenders, folks: Petrov, Mikhailov, and Lurchenko. Let's have the red die decide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that's 1, 2 for Lurchenko. Mikhailov is going to be 3, 4, and Petrov will be 5 and 6. And it looks like it will be Petrov, so he does have that power play circle star symbol printed out on his card. So he's going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so to keep this game all knotted up as Team Canada looks for the sweep here in this episode of Rivalry Night. We got ourselves a quality check here between players 2 and 3. That's Blinov and Cashman. The quality is star. Neither Cashman or Blinov have star, so we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Quality check between players 2 and 4. That is Vasilev and Gilbert. The quality is speed. Gilbert is going to win that one as he does have speed, so he's going to move in on Tretiak to hopefully net a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. He will do so. Man, both goalies are standing on their heels here in Game 3 as Team Canada looks for the sweep here in this one. Quality check between players 1 and 3. It looks like Volachkov and Perot are going to be the contenders here. The quality is star. Neither player has star, and we will move on to the next one. Another quality check. This time it'll be between players 4 for Team Canada and anybody on the ice for the Soviets. The quality in question we're looking for is smart. Frank has the quality, but 3 other players out on Team Soviet Union do have smart. Lurchenko, Mikhailov, and Karlamov. I think. Let's have the red die decide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, Lurchenko is 1, 2. Mikhailov is 3, 4. Karlamov is 5 and 6. So Lurchenko is the lucky contestant here, as both Frank Mahavlich and Lurchenko both have the quality of smart, and that is going to be it for that segment, and we will move on to the next one. We got ourselves a quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Badanov and Dennis Hull. The quality is star. Neither player has star, and we will move on to the next segment. Here in this one, in such a tight Game 3, as Team Canada are looking for the sweep of Team Soviet Union, while Team Soviet Union are trying to prevent the sweep and get themselves a win in this Rivalry Night series. But unfortunately, the series is going to go to Team Canada's way, as they have more games won than Team Soviet Union. Whoops. Wrong button, sorry. We got ourselves a quality check. This time it'll be between players 1 and anybody on the ice for Team Canada. The quality in question we're looking for is speed. Lebedev is the lucky contestant for Team Soviet Union. The only 4 guys out there besides Phil Esposito, or excuse me, I should say, the only guys out there besides Phil Esposito that have speed are Park, Ellis, Gilbert, and Lapointe. Here's what we'll do. 1, 2, 4, 5, a 3, and a 6 is a reroll. So Ron Ellis is going to manage to take the win over. Oh, excuse me, Lebedev. It's for speed. Sorry. Both guys have speed, and we will move on to the next segment with a scoreless tie through 40 minutes of play here in the books for Game 3. We begin the third with a quality check between players 1 and 3. That's Volachkov and Phil Esposito. The quality we're looking for is speed. Neither player has speed, and my goodness, folks, it's going to be a tight race here, so who's going to take it? Home scoring chance of a 45. It reads, any home player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. The only guy out there is Mikhailov, so Mikhailov does have the power play circle star symbol out there printed on his card, so he's going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net the game's first goal. A 1, 2, or 3 will stop it. It's been stopped by Tony Esposito. My goodness, who is going to score the game's first goal of game number 3. Team Canada wants the sweep, while Team Soviet Union says, no way, in their native language. Home scoring chance of a 64. Home defense stop breakaway chance. Visitor goalie must make spec save. Tony Esposito, you need to make a 1 or a 2 to make the stop, which he won't. Team Soviet Union gets on the board. It's 1-0. Let's see who scored the goal. 8. Player with the best shot rating. It looks like it's going to be a tie between Bogdanov and Kharlamov. It's going to be Bogdanov. And it will be Bogdanov. So Bogdanov will score the goal. The game's first goal. Unbelievable. So we got 1 down and 5 more to go until this segment automatically ends. We got ourselves a quality check. Okay, so just like from my 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge project, whenever double sixes come up, I'm going to roll the red die. I'm going to look at the home side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. Player number 3, that's Yuri Leipkin, and he will face off against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. So 3, both players in 3, Cashman and Leipkin. The quality is smart. It looks like Leipkin's going to win this one as he does have smart. So he's going to move in on Tony Esposito to hopefully net a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so. But it's time running out for Team Canada to get the sweep on Team Soviet Union. Quality check between players, between anybody on the ice for the teams for the Soviets, and player number 5, that's Guy Lapointe. The quality we're looking for is smart. The only guy out there with smart is Kharlamov. So he's going to tie, unfortunately, with Guy Lapointe. And folks, we are going to go to the empty net mini chart. Either we're going to go to another overtime in this series, or if the game is really over. 2. Oh, leading team goalie must make spec save. So Tretiak is, since the leading team is Team Soviet Union, Vladislav Tretiak needs to net a 1 and exactly a 1 to send this game, to make this a game over and prevent the sweep for Team Canada. He won't. The game is tied up at 1, courtesy of, excuse me, the player with the best shot rating. And it looks like that's going to be Gilbert Perreault. So Gilbert Perreault is going to force this game to overtime. And we're going to head there right now. Quality check between players 2 and 1. That's Zagankov and Brad Park. The quality is power. Both have power, and folks, we are going to go to yet another shootout here in this one. This time, dot is going to be Team Soviet Union. Blank is going to be Team Canada. Let's see who wins it. It looks like it'll be Team Canada, as they are going to win it 2-0. Let's see who scored the game winner. 9. Second best shot rating. And it looks like it will be coming from Yvonne Kanoyer. So Yvonne Kanoyer, if I want to keep track of that, will win game 3 for Team Canada as they take this Rivalry Night series, as we revisit the Summit Series from 1972, as Team Canada sweeps Team Soviet Union by a final score of 2-1 here in Game 3, and They win they win this version of the Summit Series 3 games to none. Wow, back-to-back shutout victories for Team Canada will seal up a sweep for Team Canada in this revisit of the Super Series from 1972, aka the Summit Series. Game 3 all wrapped up. Here's the game summary for Game 3, presented by your favorite Biddy Beer products. Uh, in regulation, only 2 goals netted um, towards the back of the net for both teams, one per side. Gilbert Perreault would break home the game tying goal off of the empty net mini chart, but Badonov would take home a goal in regulation for Team Soviet Union as as his goal broke a scoreless tie after a count it a almost almost I would say 10 segments worthy of shutout hockey from Tony Esposito and Vladislav Tretiak. Rod Gilbert would take home a quality check win for speed, and Leipkin would also take home a quality check win for Soviet Union as he won the battle for smart. Gilbert would win the battle for speed. Ivan Kanoyer would be the game winner, would at the game winner in a shootout. That would be his first of this Rivalry Night episode. Rookie plays from this intense back and forth battle between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union for game number 3 is as follows. Tony Esposito and Vladislav Tretiak would um, get things started early to keep it a scoreless tie. But Tretiak would make a key play save off of a quality check opportunity from Rod Gilbert, which he would end up making a huge play save. Nothing happened in the second period, but in the third period, that's where everything broke loose. Badonov would break the scoreless tie in the 15th minute, and then off of a quality check win from Leipkin off for let's see here for Smart. Tony Esposito would make the play save to keep it at a 1-0 lead, heading the empty net mini chart in the 20th minute. Nothing had really happened, but Gilbert Perreault would tie up the game to send the game to overtime off of the empty net mini chart. Nothing happened in overtime, but when we got to the shootout, Von Kanoyer would seal up the victory for Team Canada and the sweep in a shootout. Here are your 3 stars of the game, but before we get to it, the honorable stars are definitely going to go to the goaltenders from this series, Tony Esposito and Tretiak, as they had a tense back and forth battle before Tony Esposito would break the glass as Badonov would seal the game, almost the game winner, before Gilbert Perreault would tie it up for Team Canada. Now to your 3 stars of the game for game number 3, and of course, Badonov would take home star number 3. Gilbert Perreault would take home star number 2. But there were so many. I would have picked Tony. I would have picked Tony Esposito for star number 1. But you know what? I had to give it to Yvonne Kanoyer for the game-winning goal in the shootout, in the back-to-back shootouts for Team Canada. And your 3 stars of this episode are as follows. Gary Bergman for Team Canada will take home star number 3 as he netted a goal and a quality check win. Guy Lapointe would take home star number 2 as he also netted 2 goals and 2 quality check wins. But star number 1 for this episode of Rivalry Night had to go to Rod Gilbert as he would net home 2 goals and 3 quality check wins for Team Canada. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Rivalry Night featuring the 1972 Super Series, aka the Summit Series, between Team Canada and Team Soviet Union. Stay tuned for our next episode out of here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour. Let's see what that is right now. Man, what a series that was for this episode of Rivalry Night here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour. As the aforementioned 1972 Team Canada would sweep the 1972 Team Soviet Union in our edition of the Summit Series. But let's find out what's coming up next time here on the Hockey Blast Express Hour. And my, oh my, we have another Stanley Cup Finals rewind matchup. If you thought that the first one was an epic classic, how about we take a look and rewind back to I would believe this is the 2022 final. Let me just. Yes, the 2022 Stanley Cup final featuring the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. We hope that you can make it back here for another episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. And this time we revisit the 2022 Stanley Cup Finals rewind. The Stanley Cup Finals from 2022, featuring the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Puck drop and the start of the episode would kick off at 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Hockey Blast Express Hour. We look forward to bringing you more episodes of Rivalry Night, Stanley Cup Finals rewind matchups, and goal scoring frenzy throughout the 2025-26 National Hockey League season.